Okay, joining us is Jayanarayan Vyas of the BJP from Ahmedabad, Ami Yagnik of the Congress, Sankarshan Thakur of the Telegraph, and Ashok Malik is senior journalist. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. Now, first question goes to, Mr. Jayanarayan Vyas. This line of argument that Amit Shah has chosen, Mr. Vyas, he has questioned why the Prime Minister and the Home Minister are not being probed like this. Now, isn't that a highly vacuous argument? A silly argument? Given that there is no shred of evidence, even you today will not be able to produce a single shred of evidence to point out to either the knowledge of the Prime Minister or the Central Home Minister in the fake encounter case. Can you?
I never thought, Arnab, you will make this question. It's you are talking about a parental responsibility. My first question is there a shred of evidence against Amit Shah? All these things matters are sub judice. But if you are talking about this parental responsibility, then why you want to say that when a coal secretary is in the charge sheeted by the CBI, the minister in charge of coal, which is a Prime Minister, is let down. He is let off. When a nephew of a railway minister is held guilty for something irregularity, the person with whom he was staying, his uncle, Pawan Bansal, is not held guilty. Now, how do you explain this kind of a differential behavior? I think one don't have to find many examples. If one wants to research on CBI, I think there will be a whole lot of literature that speaks about the partisan behavior
If Amit Shah wants to ask a... One minute. If Amit Shah wants to ask a rhetorical question, then he can. But don't tell me here that there is a slight shred of evidence. And if you want to talk about the evidence that is being held here against Mr. Amit Shah, one can bring out quite a few, but I'll get the Congress party to respond. Sankarshan also disagrees with your perspective on the start. Ami Yagnik...
I will not believe that evidence of anything. I'll not believe any evidence that is for the better,
the point
which is sub judice and which is under adjudication.
The point is
undertake the media trial. There is no evidence. Whatever is the matter is sub judice.
Mr. Vyas, 1 minute. The CBI is not acting against Amit Shah in a vacuum. You understand that. You know that. I will come back to you. But I will now get a counter from Ami Yagnik.
Give me the time.
No, see, Amit Shah made the points. I will give you the time. But Amit Shah made the points in the interview 2 times now. He said, and I can read out what he said.
I'll answer you that question. I have
he said, why is the...
Don't worry.
He says, why is the Home Minister there and why is the Prime Minister not being probed? So he's dragged in the Prime Minister. I'm simply taking off from what he said. Ami Yagnik, your response to the BJP.
First of all, it is very, very strange that Mr. Amit Shah is bringing in the Home Minister and the Prime Minister. It has become that habit to divert the attention of the main matter and bring these kind of baseless statements in the media. The second thing is that he has raised his pitch of counter-attack before whom? In the media? The trial is going on in the court and he will have a chance as an accused. Since when are accused giving answers and interviews on the media and explaining and justifying their stand and bringing in other people by way of baseless allegations in comparison to very, very strong evidence before a court of law against Mr. Amit Shah? The third point, you have to see the fake encounters in the background and the backdrop of Gujarat. 2002 and 2007. After the 2002 genocide, there have been 5 encounters very systematically done in a very, very similar pattern, and the victims' kith and relatives have gone
How many
to the
have
court,
there been in
and
Assam?
The Honorable High Court and the Honorable Supreme Court
how many encounters in Assam? How many in 1 minute. How many in Uttar Pradesh? How many in Manipur?
We will come to that.
How many in Haryana?
We will come to that. Yes, you are right.
No.
Who was the beneficiary? Who became larger than life? Who became a hero? Who became the hero of this?
Who's talking about anyone becoming a hero? Is that the question here about who becomes a hero and who doesn't? What kind of argument is that? Ami Yagnik, I'm sorry, but what kind of an argument is that? Are you saying here today that there may have been... No, Mr. Yagnik.
You have to listen to me for 2 minutes.
Let us be very logical. You are on a very thin ice, I warn you.
In all the fake No, in all the fake encounters, the victims were, those who were killed, were found with small chits saying that we are terrorists and we had come to kill Mr. Modi. In two of them, Mr. Advani's name was there. So who got the benefits? That here is the person who has become a hero. So nowhere else in the country such encounters take place and the beneficiary is some one particular person. And that's how there is a difference. This encounters in Gujarat, you don't have to compare with the national encounters happening elsewhere. You please justify what was that. That you were compelled to have this kind of a modus operandi for fake encounters.
First of all, I want you to.
Justify yourself on the national media.
Miss Yagnik, you see, you're being very aggressive tonight. First of all, I want to give you an opportunity right here on live television of taking back your previous comment on who became the hero. Because, you know, are you saying Delhi, the national capital, had 10 alleged fake encounter deaths between 2009, 2010 and February 2013. Congress ruled Manipur at 12. So if the Congress party did not become a hero or no Congress leader became a hero, hence the politician should not be dragged in. Assam, Congress held at 22 in 2012-13. Samajwadi Party ruled Uttar Pradesh at 26. So Sankarshan Thakur, Ami Yagnik's argument is... No, 1 minute. Be objective. Ami Yagnik's argument is...
No, please let me answer.
No, let me complete.
Because there were
let me complete.
From these victims...
Let me complete.
Found, and there is an investigation of the Gujarat cops saying to this effect. I am speaking from the record, from the material on evidence, as evidence.
Miss Yagnik, I will not. No, you know, statistics are very strongly against you. I warn you. So, Sankarshan Thakur from 2002 to 2007, 440 fake encounters. Gujarat has 5. Uttar Pradesh has 231. Now, I'm not building any case here, but Uttar Pradesh has 231. Ami Yagnik said nobody became a hero, so let's not focus on that. I think that's a facetious argument. Sankarshan, where do you stand on this? Sankarshan.
Arnab, am I right in understanding we are talking about Amit Shah today?
Yes, but Amit Shah has built an argument and I'm discussing what Amit Shah has said. So one of the things...
Hold on, no.
One of the things with Amit Shah says, why are we discussing
Here is a man...
okay, you go ahead.
If we are discussing Amit Shah, you know, the Prime Minister and his government have their own questions to answer. Various state governments have their own questions to answer. My understanding is we are talking in the context of the interview Mr. Amit Shah gave to Times Now today, and the kind of interviews he's been on a media spree. He's been giving interviews to all channels since sitting in his room since yesterday. Here is a man who went to jail, a Home Minister who went to jail. From my understanding, he has been debarred from going into Gujarat because there is a fear that he will be able to destroy evidence against him. He is on judicial bail.
No more.
And he is sitting here.
No more.
But this interview was in Ahmedabad. Anyway.
He gave the interview in Ahmedabad.
No. The thing is that he is under scrutiny and he is questioning. You know, politicians do this all the time. All his life, Lalu Yadav said that the fodder allegations were a political conspiracy against him. His party still says that. He has been convicted. He is in jail. So Mr. Lalu Yadav and his RJD can believe what they want.
Now, Ashok Malik.
But the fact is that the courts of this country have convicted him.
No, Ashok Malik. Let's get Ashok. So the point he makes is one minute. The point he makes is Ashok Malik. Let's get you in, and then we'll open this up. The point he's making is, why is there an emphasis on Gujarat government alone? I agree with you. He's a man under the cloud. His role is under a shadow, and there is no doubt about it, Sankarshan. But what he's saying is, shouldn't all state governments be equally answerable? What about the political leadership in other state governments? Ashok Malik, go ahead, please.
Let me start by saying, Arnab, India certainly has a problem with fake encounters. This is a problem not limited to one state, not limited to one police jurisdiction. It's an all-India problem. There is without going into the Gujarat encounters and whether they were fake or not, I have no idea. But there is a fake encounter problem in this country. However, the manner in which the fake encounter problem has been sought to be tackled by the CBI and agencies of the central government is very different from the manner in which the NHRC or other independent agencies have tried to solve it. They have targeted various state governments and the holistic problem. In the case of Gujarat, 32 police officers comprising almost the entire anti-terrorist squad of that state are behind bars in some cases for 6 years in 3 high-profile so-called fake encounter cases. The anti-terrorism squad of an entire state, a border state, has been decimated. At least some of those officers, even if they are convicted, have already spent more time in prison as under trials than they would have to spend if they were convicted. There is certainly something wrong here. So when Amit Shah protests, he doesn't quite protest too much.
Oh, there is something
There
wrong
is
in
some
Gujarat.
method in what he says.
So you are on Amit Shah's side on this, Ashok Malik. You believe that by raising these...
To some degree, yes.
And you believe that he's completely made a victim in this particular case? That he's being... You agree with him when he says, I am being fixed to target Modi? You agree with him there as well?
On the basis of evidence available till now, it is unlikely that he will be pronounced guilty.
So then let me ask you...
That is my understanding.
No. Let me ask you here, in the Ishrat case, there are 4 IB officials who are under the scanner for abetting the encounter. Rajinder Kumar, Rajiv Wankhede, Mittal and MK Sinha. Tell me, is there any proof of any of these people having acted at the behest of the central government?
You see,
No, is there any proof? No, is there any proof? So who's
Is there any proof that Mr. Bandara acted on behalf of Narendra Modi or Amit Shah? And if Amit Shah can be questioned, then
now
why can't
No,
Mr. Bandara himself is saying that.
1 second. I thought there were call detailed records.
Mr. Bandara said it where? Sankarshan. Where has he said it? In a letter which we don't even know whether it's true.
Well, of course the letter is there because the letter is being quoted. No. Ashok Malik. Ashok Malik, the letter is there. The letter is being quoted.
No, Ashok, you can't go that far. Please.
Ashok,
don't push credibility that far, Ashok.
Go ahead.
CBI chief says the letter has no evidentiary value.
No, please.
Are we in a kangaroo court?
Please, this is not a question of a kangaroo court. There is a letter of Banjara. That letter mentions Amit Shah explicitly.
Got to be made in Gujarat.
The letter has no evidentiary value. The great CBI chief has said it.
Well, I think you
I don't go by hearsay.
There is not. Well, anyway, let Sankarshan respond to you. Sankarshan, you want to say something there?
You know, where we start clutching at evidentiary values and where we don't want any evidence to be able to say things that these are matters of political choice, Ashok. The fact is that Mr. Bandara has said a few things, and I think, I at least as a journalist, whether it has evidentiary value in a court or not, I as a journalist will take note of that, because Mr. Bandara was a senior functionary in the Gujarat sort of dispensation. He has been in jail and he has now said some things. So to say that they are of no value,
he hasn't said it
or we should not take note of them, whether they have evidentiary value or not.
No, forget the question of evidentiary value.
They are journalists. I don't go by hearsay.
Exactly.
No. Evidentiary value.
You don't go by hearsay. No, 1 second.
This is not here.
So what's
this is not hearsay. This is not a whisper that someone has sort of made in a dark alley.
1 second. So the question to Ami Yagnik
is in the public domain. Some people say Bandara wrote it.
Gentlemen, calm.
CBI chief says it has no evidentiary value.
Gentlemen,
going by that.
Give me 10 seconds, gentlemen. Esteemed gentlemen, give me 10 seconds. The question here is, it's not a question of evidentiary value, etc. I want to pick up on one other point which Ami Yagnik, he says. And Jainara and Vyas, I'm coming to you. Ami Yagnik, now what does he say? He's saying, I want the law of parity to be applied to me. Right? And he says there are a number of Hyderabad policemen who find themselves in the net in the Sohrabuddin case. You'll admit? You'll admit that? You'll admit that first of all? Ami Yagnik?
There are a number of police officers, yes.
So the follow-up question.
There are other police officers.
So the follow-up question which he asks you indirectly is, why hasn't the knowledge of the Andhra Pradesh police political establishment, Andhra being a Congress-ruled state, been looked into? In fact, if I may remind you, in December 2011, a bench of Justice Aftab Alam and Justice Ranjan Prakash Desai said there is, quote-unquote, a deliberate attempt on the part of Andhra Pradesh not to provide information to the CBI which is investigating Sohrabuddin to the case. So without at all building an argument that there should be any sympathy for Amit Shah, isn't that question a valid one?
I have not seen the complete material of the before the CBI, and just because one accused comes and says that this is not done, there is no reason to believe what he says. We have to see the charge sheet and the supplementary charge sheet that comes whether
the court said there is a deliberate attempt to.
The second point is this is not the forum where these kind of charges have to be made.
No, why?
He can very well
why?
make it before the
I am
court
debating
where the
what he
trial
has
is
said.
going on, and where the interviews of accused are taken as gospel truth and being
Ami Agnik, I'm not saying what is the gospel truth, but you believe the whole question is the culpability, accountability of the political leadership in Gujarat. So the question is political leadership in UP, political leadership in Assam, political leadership in Andhra Pradesh, political leadership in Delhi, political leadership in all states where there is encounter death should also be looked into, or do you think it's a crime to do that? Do you think it's a crime to do that?
Why did the victims of those fake encounters did not knock the doors of the court? Here the victims
so now you put the onus to the victims.
Have knocked the doors and the courts have come into the picture.
So you say
why there is a systematic way of encountering these young people?
No, one second. I'm going to get Jainara and Vyas to rebut that one. Jainara and Vyas, please.
Well, Arnab, I think you can answer arguments. You can't answer something absurd. You know, you made a very valid point, Arnab, and I was going to make that point, that why Andhra Pradesh police is not brought into the net, why CBI made a differential treatment by the same standards, because there was a BJP-ruled state, Rajasthan, why the police officers of that state were brought into the net in Tulsiram case. You know, there is distinct CBI's behavior which is different in different cases. Then I am answering Mr. Another thing, which is that they are there in the jail, the police officers. CBI, again there, the behavior is very selective. In case of those who are not dancing to their tunes, break their confidence, harass them, keep them as long as possible, don't file charge sheets, don't permit the cases to go on. And those who dance to your tune, permit them the default bail. You know, this is what is CBI. This is what is CBI.
Do you take back the argument of conspiracy?
So, you know, Arnab,
okay,
so sometimes the CBI chief becomes quotable when he says it is of no evidentiary value, but when he the CBI lets go of Mayawati, lets go of Mulayam Singh, then the CBI loses all credibility. I mean, this is a shenanigan. I mean, on a particular day, you will want to quote the CBI chief as gospel, as telling all truth. On another day, you will say CBI is, twisting prisoners, he's making them dance to their tunes. You know, where do they stand in relation to the CBI? You know, I think Amit Shah, frankly, should be should actually be thankful that the CBI's conviction rate, unfortunately, is so poor.
No, my question is different.
They should be thankful.
Don't philosophize. Don't philosophize. No.
I will say what I have to, Mr. Vyas. I am not your spokesman. I will say what I have to say. So, Mr. Vyas, you do not dictate what I say. You take your dictation from Mr. Narendra Modi and do not dictate what I say and what I don't say. Please, you take your dictation from Mr. Modi or whoever you take them from. I do not take any dictation from anyone.
I am simply, don't get worked up. We are in a debate. We are not fighting each other.
I do not take dictation from you on what I say and what I don't say.
I am simply correcting something. I am simply correcting something which might oversight you might have missed. You are forgetting the case I was giving you the example. There is exactly identical situation in the same case. In the same case, in case of Andhra Pradesh police, there is a different behavior. In case of
that
Rajasthan,
point is understood. That point is understood. The question is asked. But what I am beginning to increasingly get worried about. 1 minute, please. Besides frayed nerves, is selective amnesia.
Continue to get worried.
No. I'm very worried. I'll tell you why. I'm worried about two things. One is frayed nerves.
There is no selective amnesia here.
Thank you for letting me continue.
My point is very clear.
No.
Wherever there is a fake encounter, justice should come down.
No. It's about
law should apply.
Yeah, but
whether it's in Gujarat or UP or Bihar or Andhra Pradesh or Manipur, wherever.
You see, even Ashok Malik today will admit
so
right.
So why out of 1580?
Jainara and Vyas, may I, with your esteemed, with your permission, sir, may I? The question is this: that You know, even Ashok Malik will admit that this attempt to pretend to be martyr, that there is this big Congress conspiracy against me in this case, you know, that Amit Shah should stop now. You agree with me on that, Ashok Malik? Because I remember it's the Gujarat High Court which directed the CBI to investigate the case. More importantly, the Gujarat High Court said it was passing the investigation to the CBI because, quote, the agency to probe the case must instill confidence and have credibility among the victims. In other words, it was talking about the trust deficit in the Gujarat police. So I don't know what Amit Shah is crying about by talking about a conspiracy. You'll agree with me on that, Ashok Malik?
At a very serious level, two points to make. One, there is a huge trust deficit vis-a-vis the CBI, not just in this case, in several cases. We don't quite know what the CBI is up to. It seems to be going amok in several cases, including the cold case against the Prime Minister. Let me clarify. Second,
we're not talking about that now.
Yes.
Amit Shah, just 1 minute, please. Amit Shah and the BJP genuinely believe, they may be mistaken, but they genuinely believe there is a political conspiracy against them being hatched by the Congress, sections of the government and sections of the CBI. They genuinely believe that. And if they believe that, that has to be their argument, I would presume, till the election.
Well, how does that hold?
I don't think he can stop saying that.
How does it matter? Even Pawan Kumar Bansal may think there's a conspiracy. A. Raja may think there's a conspiracy.
That is his problem. That is his business.
No,
but
in the context of Amit Shah,
political strategy. I'm just playing political analyst here.
No,
as a political strategy, if they believe it's a conspiracy, they have to go with that argument.
No, but that conspiracy, obviously, they may be a political argument, but you agree that there is no base to that argument given the intervention of the Gujarat High Court, which Jainara and Vyas refuses to look at.
To that argument. Personally, I'm not sure there's no basis to that argument.
Personally, you don't think so, but
systematically, the ATS has been, in one major state, has been decimated. I've seen it happen. I am not sure it was a coincidence.
Now, the last question goes here. Jainara and Vyas, we have 1 minute left, and I give you the last one. Ami Agnik, you want to respond, by the way, to what Ashok Malik said there? He says there is a whole belief that the CBI is going after the political conspiracy. You want to respond to that, or you want to also respond to the earlier point I made about the number of encounters that's in Congress-ruled states for which no Congress chief minister has been held accountable, in which there's been no political responsibility assigned? You want to answer either of these 2 points?
Yes, both. One, that in the other encounters we are talking about minors outside the Gujarat state, I think there's a very different kind of encounters that maybe why they are not probed, we'll have to find out.
No, why? Why are they not probed? No, what do you mean find out?
The victims, no.
What do you mean? What do you mean find out?
It's been a very systematic encounter in Gujarat.
No, what do you mean find out?
Encounter in Gujarat, and the victims have rushed to the court asking for justice. And the Gujarat government has only one program, and that is the justice derailment program, and delaying it as much as it can.
No, what do you mean? What do you mean we have to find out?
No, please.
No, I am taking figures given by our Minister of State for Home, RPN Singh. RPN Singh said...
No, you are just bringing...
These are central government figures. You are saying we'll have to find out.
Other encounters in other states, there is no denial to that.
But what have you done about it?
But when we are talking about these Gujarat encounters, and when there is an allegation of political conspiracy, we have to see it from the time they started till date, who is responsible for what.
All right, so she's saying there's an allegation of political conspiracy in Gujarat, there is none elsewhere. So Jainara and Vyas, that's the fulcrum of her argument. I give you 30 seconds to respond. The Congress representative says there's an allegation of a political hand in Gujarat. There is none in Andhra, there is none in Haryana, there is none in Assam. Your response before I wrap up tonight.
Well, Arnab, let me first understand, out of 1500 encounters that you are telling, 18 and one now filed, now closure notice has been filed, 17 all in Gujarat. How they are different from any, I mean, by law, probability you will not be able to justify that there is not a single encounter worth probing. They are...
point taken.
Law probability will not stand by
Ashok Malik countering Ami Agnik. Yes, Ashok Malik, quickly. We're extending it by 1 more minute. Ashok Malik.
The Gujarat Congress has a phobia about Modi and Amit Shah because they've been hammered in successive elections. Amit Shah was born in 1964. If he'd been born a year earlier, the Congress would have blamed him for John F. Kennedy's assassination.
Ami Yagnik, that was...
Oh, God.
Arnav, there is no phobia. There is no phobia. Let Mr. Malik know about that. The only thing is that they are the perpetrators, alleged perpetrators, and so that is why they have to go for bail and they are charged as accused. There is no phobia with the Gujarat Congress. Please.
Okay, gentlemen, we're short of time. Beyond this, Sankarshan Thakur seems to be amused by the nature of the debate. There is no doubt that Mr. Amit Shah is exposing himself a lot to the media. Absolutely. He makes the point there. One last point, actually, I'll give it to Sir. He makes the point they're trying to fix me to get at Modi. Will he be actually sealed for Modi? Will he really be? Or if the courts next week or after that, do not name him directly and specifically, right? Will the case end after that? Sankarshan.
Arnab, I can only say at the end of all of this is that Mr. Amit Shah can actually take solace from the fact that unfortunately the CBI's conviction record is so poor. It hams its way through, it gets used by political parties, all political parties, not just the Congress. When the BJP, there is no case to say that when the BJP was in power, they were not, using the tongs on the CBI.
Yeah, but they're working
so the CBI is a pathetic story. We all know that.
But at the same time, when
we all know the CBI is a pathetic story.
But
that does not take away from what has happened in Gujarat.
In some cases, when the CBI doesn't want to be a pathetic story, it becomes, like the Michael Schumacher of investigations. Look at the way they are moving towards Parekh. It's a Formula 1 of investigations going on vis-a-vis the former coal secretary. So when they choose
Please wait, Arnab, and we will see the number of convictions that come in the coal scam.
Well, at least right now they're at breakneck speed. Mr. Ranjit Sinha should put his helmet and riding gear on. We are going to follow this story. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Who do you think is on higher ground here, Amit Shah or his detractors?